Hey, sports porchers. It's your hockey Jesus, and I'm back with the recap of the 2024-25 Pittsburgh Penguins season. Well, as you all know by now, the Pittsburgh Penguins are absolutely done for the year. And honestly, it's kind of bittersweet for me because I love to watch hockey. I know hockey's not over yet, and I'm not done yet for the season. We'll get to that at the end. But I thought it would be best if I kind of give you a recap of what happened this season with the Pittsburgh Penguins, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Most of it, actually, when I was doing the review, I forgot about some of the good times that the Pittsburgh Penguins have, and surprisingly, I'm going to pull up these 7 lines of data that I think really kind of give a good synopsis as to the way I feel the season has gone this year. So, as you can see, the Pittsburgh Penguins ended up with 80 points on the season. That's down here at the bottom. Um, that put them in eighth place, eighth from the bottom, that is. Overall, that means they've got, yeah, we'll get to the lottery picks, but they've got a small, like 5% chance of doing anything other than getting that eighth pick. But you can see that the Pittsburgh Penguins actually started quite strong. They go 3-2 in their first 5 games. And if you've been following me, you know what this means. I've got the HJ record because we don't use ties here. I'm sorry if you like ties. We don't do it. We got wins and losses and total points. That's the way we do it here. I'm hoping and praying that the NHL will someday adopt getting rid of that tie and just showing the points because it's the same thing. If they don't want to change it, they want to continue to use that stupid loser point. Just don't show it. Just show it in the total points. That's the way I like to do it. I think it's cleaner that way. I think it's easier for people to follow. So that's why you see them here. So year to date points after the first 5 games, they were at 98. It was the only time in the whole season where the Pittsburgh Penguins were actually trending to be in a playoff spot. And just like I predicted, it took 91 points to make the playoffs. I knew it would take 90. I thought for sure 95, you would have been in. But if you had 91 points this year, just like the Montreal Canadiens did, you were in that last eighth spot in the East. And unfortunately for Columbus, although winning 6 in a row at the end, they fell 2 points short. And that's why every point really becomes important. So in these stretches, you can see first 5 games, Penguins played great. And then the wheels started coming off early. In the month of October, they go 0 for 6 in their next 6 games and 4 for 14 through game 23. That was a loss at Minnesota. They go 0 and 6, and then a loss at Utah to have them go basically 4 and 14 in that stretch. So what happened during that stretch? Dubas was actually pretty active. That's where he sent Jari down. For reassignment, as they called it. And he traded Eller. He said, Eller, you're out of here. We don't need you. You're not going to be part of this. Let's just start getting draft picks now. So you can see that those two moves actually help them in their next 13 games. They go 9 and 14 at the end of the month of November, in basically the month of December, one of their best months of the season. Actually, during that time frame, it really kept them in it. It's 16 and 20 at 84 points trending for the year with, 46 games to go. You're still in it. I mean, teams were still considered in it when they had 82, 83 points and with only like 6 games to go. So that's really when the Pittsburgh Penguins needed to do something positive. And instead, you can see what happened. Towards the end of the year in December, through the end of January, they were awful. 4 and 12 during that time period from games 36 to 52. Let's see. In 36 to 52, who did they lose to in those games? They lost to a lot of games. They at one point had a 4-game losing streak and then a 3-game losing streak in between, only beating Edmonton. So that's really where the wheels started to come off. And honestly, it wasn't, they weren't playing anything different. They just didn't have it. They just didn't have it. They just didn't have the ability to hit the accelerator to win those games. A lot of those games they got shellacked in, and that was really kind of the beginning of the end for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now you can see that after that, you start getting into the trade deadline. So, from the end of January to the beginning of March, that's when the Four Nations came in. Four Nations tournament was around February 22nd. Um, and, it was the trade deadline. So Dubas did the right thing, got rid of guys like Pedersen and DOC and Bavillier. All those guys were traded. Bunning was also traded in that time frame, and the new guys got brought up. So in between this nice run of 9-4, you look at them, you're like 12-34 in the rest of those games. That's really what ruined their season, honestly. The before and the after of what happened in the month of December, and at the end, they really picked it up. 10-8 is respectable. I think that yields to be in that time frame. They would have been over 100, trending over 100 points if they would have kept that throughout the year. So I guess overall, my wish for the Pittsburgh Penguins is to just do more of that. They just need to bring up more of the young guys, and they need to make some decisions in the offseason. We're not going to talk about the offseason. I just kind of wanted to give a recap of this season. Let's see who did well from a point scoring standpoint, and who really kind of didn't cut the mustard here in the 2024 season. So these are the stats directly from the NHL. You can see our captain, Sidney Crosby. I was at that last game because I was hoping that was going to be the game that Ovi was going to break a record. He did score a goal. What a great game that was, even though that game meant nothing. Fans at the PPG Arena, just greatest fans. There were a lot of Caps fans there, I'm not going to lie, but those fans that are there during games that don't matter, they're the salt of the earth. I just love being amongst those fans. Shout out to the two guys that sat next to me. Just great fans. Really, really enjoyed being at the game. But Sidney Crosby looked like a monster still in the last game of the season. Almost played the whole season, missed 2 games. But you can see the 91 points, 1.14, top 3 5-on-5 in the whole NHL for the season. I mean, Sidney Crosby just had an amazing, amazing season. 1.14 points per game. He didn't just beat Gretzky's record; he shattered it. He's looking great. I mean, if they can keep Sidney playing at this level for the next 2 years, they have a chance of making a rebound next year. I know that's probably a little controversial and maybe not true. And I am a bit of a homer, so I do take that into consideration. But hey, how about Raquel? 35 goals, 35 assists. Those are records for him, 35 goals. And Brian Rust only playing 71 games and getting 31 goals, 34 assists, 65 points. There is nothing wrong with that first line. And honestly, if you broke up Raquel and put Koivunen up there, I'll show Koivunen in a second. I think you've got the makings of some first 2 good lines going in the next season. You never know when the wheels are going to fall off to these 40-year-old guys. Malkin even had a pretty decent season. He only played in 68 games, but 50 points in 68 games, not bad. I'd like to see him be a little bit more consistent than be so streaky. The big thing you see here, and it's just glaring, is this plus minus. Yikes. Minus 20, minus 22, minus 21, minus 24. I don't know how much of that is the goalie, to be completely honest with you, and how much of it is just the way they're playing their defensive schemes. But that's something that's going to have to be addressed in the offseason. I'm just going to pull up points per game, and you can see here's Koivunen right here. He only played in 8 games, 7 assists in 8 games for, he's not a rookie this year because he didn't play enough games, but look for him to make some inroads as Rookie of the Year next year if he continues that. That's just an incredible streak. He did get a goal that was taken away, well, because you can't bat it in with your hand, which is true. So he didn't get his first goal of the season or his first goal in an NHL uniform, but that's coming soon for Koivunen. Great player, looks great out there, has no problem with the speed. Looks like an NHL player, passes the sniff test, definitely passes the eye test, can play on the first or second lines, no problem. So I think good things for him. Let's look at the other points, guys. Carlson's right there. I guess, you're paying him way too much, but he does get some points. Grizzlick played all 82 games as well as Carlson did, and he was one of the best plus or minus at -6. So they're going to have to make a decision about him. I'm okay if they don't bring him back. I hope they don't bring him back on a 2-year contract that's worth too much. They've got Pickering. They've got Brunick. I don't know exactly how you pronounce it. I'll figure that out next year for you guys because I have a feeling you're going to be seeing a lot of Harrison up here next year. And Tomasino wasn't bad for us. 50 games, he's right there. Kevin Hayes did get 13 goals, but man, is his salary expensive. I like the way Lizotte plays. I think he can be a bottom line guy, but he's gonna have to score more than 20 points in 60 games. That's not enough. He's got to pick up his scoring pace if he wants to be a consistent bottom line guy. So that's really the statistics. That's really what the Pittsburgh Penguins were this year. Couple. Well, I should say more than a couple bad spots that the Pittsburgh Penguins played in, and that really kind of ruined their season. I am officially done with the Pittsburgh Penguins this season, and that'll be probably the last you hear me say, and unless I give some spot analysis on the playoffs for the NHL. I will be doing the NHL playoffs this year, just like I did last year. I don't have my new board up yet. I'm still waiting some things so I can get the background here looking nice, getting ready for that playoff format that I hope you enjoyed last year. I definitely think that some of these first round, just a real quick cap on the first round of the playoffs. I think you're crazy if you're not watching that Colorado-Dallas series and that Florida series with Florida and Tampa Bay. Oh my, that's going to be some great hockey. I'm looking forward to it. The Pens are on their way up. I think the way they ended the season, you have to be just thrilled with the way they brought the young kids up. Sullivan plugging them in right away. McGroarty did get hurt, so that's kind of a negative. But I can tell you, the future is bright for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, despite the Pittsburgh Penguins not making the playoffs for the third year in a row, I think this is the first year I can say that I'm pretty excited about what's going to be happening next year with this team. Whew! It's been one hell of a season. If you've enjoyed this season, smash that like button. I've enjoyed every second of it. I know, this year I'd been a little off. I hadn't been as consistent as I was the last 2 years, but I promise for the Pittsburgh Penguins season next year, I'll be back. There's going to be so much more to be talking about with these young kids coming up, with Crosby continuing to break records, scoring records on his quest for 2,000 points. Boy, that would be nice, wouldn't it? I'd love to see him get there. He's not going to do that next year, by the way. It's going to take him 3 or 4 more seasons to get there. But hey, thanks for the season. I appreciate you guys out there in YouTube land. And hey, until the next one, enjoy all the NHL playoffs. I will see you in the 2025-2026 season. Until then, thanks for everything. Love you guys out there. See you in the next one.